launch of the Kenya National Ultra Poor Graduation Strategy on this 18th day of November. That signals that we all need to sit down. If you're still outside, please make your way inside as we prepare to begin the final program. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning and karibuni sana. We now officially begin our program. I kindly request that we all rise for the Kenyan National Anthem, followed by the East African National Anthem.
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Our chief guest, Your Excellency Honorable Joseph Motari, Principal Secretary, State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizens Affairs. Their Excellencies, Honorable Robert Komole, Deputy Governor, West Pokot County, Honorable Lucy Mulili, Deputy Governor, Makueni County, and Honorable Andrew Mwadime, Governor, Taita Taveta County. Senior county government officials present, esteemed development partners, Village Enterprise, FSD Kenya, World Bank, UN agencies, and civil society organizations. We also have partners from the academia and private sector representatives, all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. On behalf of the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, and specifically the State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizens Affairs, I warmly welcome each and every one of you to the launch, the official launch of the Kenya National Ultra Poor Graduation Strategy. Karibuni sana. My name is Michelle Ngela Odhiambo. I am a journalist and a news anchor with NTV Kenya, and it is my absolute pleasure to serve as your MC this morning. As someone who grew up and began school in Taita Taveta County, one of the earliest counties to adopt this ultra-poor graduation approach, today's event is personally meaningful for me. I have seen firsthand how structured support can change the trajectory of households where I come from. And it is a privilege for me to stand here as we launch this national strategy. Today marks a milestone, not just for the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection and Citizens, and the State Department as well, of Senior Citizens Affairs, but also for Kenya as a whole. Under the leadership of the State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizens Affairs, we gather today to launch a national strategy that signals Kenya's clear commitment to ending extreme poverty. This can be done through structured and evidence-based multi-sectoral action, and that is why we're here today. For years, Kenya has invested heavily in social protection, cash transfers, and food assistance. These programs have changed lives, but the ultra-poor, those who cannot meet even the most basic of needs, often remain beyond the reach of such conventional support. The Kenya National Ultra Poor Graduation changes just that. The strategy introduces a proven and sequenced pathways to move households to stability, to income generation, to resilience, and eventually to long-term self-reliance. And this will be done, of course, through consumption support and many other products and projects that we'll be hearing today. This isn't a charity project. It's an empowerment project. It's a project to bring dignity to people and sustainable transformation. And so today we commit as a nation that no Kenyan should remain trapped in extreme poverty. That with the right tools, every household can thrive, can rise, and can chart their own path forward. So thank you all for being here today and for being part of this moment. It is now my honor to invite the Director of Social Development, Dr. Lynette Ochuma, to deliver the welcome address and present the roadmap and overview of the Kenya National Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy. Please join me in a round of applause as we welcome her to the stage.
To our chief guest, our principal secretary, Honorable Joseph Motari, Your Excellencies, Deputy Governor for Makueni, Lucy Mulili, Deputy Governor for West Pokot, Robert Komole, the CECM for Makueni, for Taita Taveta, and for West Pokot, our development partners, non-governmental organizations, civil society, the community, and the staff for State Department for Social Protection. Good morning. Today we gather here to celebrate what we have really worked for in the past 1 year. It started as a statement, and we have moved on to make it a reality. It was a dream, and I'm happy today to see that we are actually launching the Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy. It has been work that we've done through multiple stakeholders, and I'd wish to acknowledge all the stakeholders that are present here today. I'll start with the development partners who have really supported us in this. We have the World Bank. We have a World Food Program. We have Foreign Commonwealth Development Office. Kindly, if you're around, just wave. I can see David Kamau. And then we have the non-governmental organizations that have really supported this, starting with Village Enterprise that actually we coined this dream together with. We really appreciate Village Enterprise. We have Boma. Boma, there was someone from Boma. Yes, we really thank you for what you've been able to do. We have CHASP. CHASP, asante sana. And we have worked together both with the national government and the county governments. I want to acknowledge the State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs. We have our staff from the different directorates. That is the National Social Protection Secretariat. They are represented here. We have the Directorate of Social Assistance, and we have the Directorate of Social Development that has really done great work to ensure that we are here today. Kindly, the officers from the State Department for Social Protection, you can wave. We also invited other organizations that have worked with us this journey, and allow me to acknowledge them. We have UNHCR, we have BRAC, we have World Vision, we have Nawiri, we have Instiglio, we have Tricolab, we have MasterCard Foundation, we have Vision Fund, we have ICRW, and we have also NRC for refugees. So this has been a consultative process. We really appreciate, and please, if I didn't mention your name, really feel appreciated for the work that you've been able to do. Allow me to give you an overview of the journey that we have walked for us to be this far. As I said, we started this. I don't know where I should stand. We started this journey some time back in 2024, and our main aim was to make sure that we develop a comprehensive national framework to eradicate extreme poverty and transition the ultra-poor to sustainable self-reliance. As I said, this was a concerted effort within the State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs. Let's move. So this is the journey that we've walked. Within 1 year, we've been able to do this much. So we started this with Village Enterprise, and I really want to appreciate Tadeo Murioki for starting us off. So we started this journey in September 2024, where we developed a concept note and a justification. And we approached our principal secretary, and we told him, we have this idea. Can we have your blessings for us to proceed? Our principal secretary we really appreciate, because you gave us the blessings and told us to move on. And today we are here to show you the work that we've been able to do. So we signed a memorandum of understanding with the Village Enterprise, with the State Department. And again, the PS signed it. We gave us his blessings, and we are here today. So we've had inception meetings. CHASP is the one that was contracted to develop this strategy, and they've really worked closely with all stakeholders. And we said that we cannot do this in the boardroom, because you'll come up with a document and the public will not know what you are developing and what it is all about. And therefore, we went to all the 8 regions to conduct public participation and ensured that we involved all the people from the sub-county and to the community. And we were able to map all the stakeholders, and they came in their numbers. So we did public participation of the ultra-poor graduation strategy at all the regional level. We've had consultative meetings and workshops just to try and incorporate what the public told us, and workshops just to refine the document. So after we refined the document, again, we said we need to go back, as it is in the Public Participation Act, to validate this document so that the public can see that whatever they told us to incorporate, we have incorporated. So we went back to the community again and did public participation of the graduation strategy again at the regional level, ensuring that everybody is involved. We came back and did a review of the strategy, and we did the validation at the national level in October, and today we are here to launch it. Thank you so much for all the people who walked with us this journey. We really appreciate you. Next. So what is this Kenya Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy? What is it? I'm sure all of us here are players in this sector. But we have come up with a common vision that every player should be talking about. We want to ensure that we have a Kenya that is free from extreme poverty. If you look at the statistics, it shows that we are at 39.8%. But the extreme poor are at 7.1%. We are talking of about 3.6 million people who are suffering in extreme poverty. When we say this, it looks like a story. It is just statistics. But when you meet the people who are suffering from extreme poverty, you will understand the face of poverty. These are people who are not able to get the basic needs. So what is our mission? Our mission is to deliver sustainable graduation of the ultra-poor through integrated and responsive multi-sectoral social and economic inclusion interventions. We are insisting that we would want the graduation approach to be multi-sectoral. And that is why we have invited all of you here so that we can share this vision together. Our long-term outcome is to ensure that the ultra-poor households transition from extreme poverty to self-reliance through transformative social and economic inclusion interventions. And this has been tested and proved that it is possible. Next. Next. So what is the challenge that we are trying to address? Look at those 3 children. Look at those 3 children. I don't know what they're thinking about. I don't know what they are looking at. But you can imagine what they are feeling. So we are saying that approximately 3.6 million live on less than $2.51 per day. And that is an equivalent of 245 shillings. I always like giving this example that one time I moved into a rural town, but decided to go to one of the best hotels in that rural area. So I assumed that the breakfast will only cost me 100 shillings. So I ordered for tea and duma. When I was given the bill, it was a bill of 850. And that is just breakfast, and I was alone. So you can imagine 245. And if you look at the household size of most of our houses, it is around 4 to 5 people. So you are talking of Kenya shillings 245. What can Kenya shillings 245 do for an entire day if you are to have 3 meals? In the rural areas, the poverty rate is even higher. Our PS was just talking to us this morning and giving us examples of Turkana. In Turkana, the poverty rate is 82%. And in Mandera, it is 72%. It is very, very high. So what are we doing about it? So we've come up with the existing social protection programs to provide immediate relief, but fail to address the multidimensional root causes of extreme poverty. So our current limitations is that we have fragmented initiatives by state and non-state actors. We are here, but where do we report to? What are we doing? Who is reporting what we are able to do so that we can collectively measure what we've been able to do in terms of the graduation approach? So there is limited impact, scalability, and sustainability. We have the safety nets programs, but we need to come up with long-term solutions. And graduation approach is one of the long-term solutions. Next. So what is this ultra-poor graduation? When we talk of a graduation, what do we mean? It means that we will target the extremely poor and poor households, and then come up with interventions. And I'll give an example of our economic inclusion program, where we provide a consumption support of Kenya shillings 2,000. We give them an asset transfer for 12 months of Kenya shillings, one-off of Kenya shillings 30,000. They are trained by mentors and mentor supervisors who coach them for a period of 12 months, just to ensure that they gain the financial literacy that they require. We give them social empowerment by training them on life skills, and then through the multi-sectoral committees, we link them and refer them based on the enterprises that they will have done. Next. So this strategic framework has 3 core pillars. The first one is coordination. We want to ensure that we implement economic inclusion program or the ultra-poor graduation in a more coordinated manner. We want to standardize the graduation model. We have metrics so that when we say that someone has graduated, what do we mean? When I first joined this space, I was not able to explain what a graduation is. I imagined, and Sam and Tadeo are looking at me and smiling, we imagined that the participants will just one day wake up, they are told they've graduated, put on a graduation gown, put on a graduation gown, and we say they have graduated. But that is not the case. There are metrics that you are looking at to ensure that someone has graduated. Karibu, Governor. We appreciate your presence. So we appreciate our governor, the governor for Taita Taveta, Honorable Mwadime. Karibu, karibu sana. So I'll continue. We want to institutionalize the graduation model, and we want to ensure that we enhance our coverage and expand to different counties, just to ensure that the whole of Kenya knows what a graduation approach is, and to ensure that we include the women, the youth, and persons with disability. Next. So the implementation includes all of us. Just like I'd said in my preamble, we have the national government, we have the county government, we have our development partners and non-governmental organizations. We have the private sector. That's why we have Equity Foundation with us. And then we have the community structures. So these are all the people that we expect to implement the ultra-poor graduation strategy. Next. So it may not be very clear, but I'll just give what is our goal. We want to ensure that we reduce extreme poverty. And our long-term outcome is to ensure that the ultra-poor household transition from extreme poverty to self-reliance through transformative socioeconomic inclusion interventions. So most of what I had presented earlier is what is reflected in our theory of change. The bottom line is we want to ensure that we end poverty, and specifically the extreme poverty in our country. Next. So this strategy may just be a document in the library if we do not implement. And we've developed many documents and we leave them on the shelf. So our appeal today is that we will require to invest substantially in order to achieve our ambitious goal of ensuring that we do not have extreme poverty. So we want to move to a comprehensive resource mobilization strategy that has been developed to ensure adequate and sustainable funding. So we have the government allocation, and if you look at our budgets for this year, we've allocated some amount of money for economic inclusion program that is led by the government. So we would want to enhance this allocation. There is donor funding, and there is a lot of interest from our partners who would want to support us in this. So we want to enhance our public-private partnership to leverage on the private sector resources and expertise for sustainable impact. We are saying, as a government, we cannot do this alone. All of us need to be involved, but can we have concerted efforts where we are thinking together and agreeing on what is the way forward? Next. So what is our path? What is this way forward? We will want to ensure that we collaborate and have a multi-sectoral collaboration from the national level to the community level. We would want to ensure that we use a standardized metrics with standard operating procedures and best practices. We are here to learn from each other. As a government, we picked the BRAC model, and I'm happy that BRAC is here today. We are implementing that BRAC model. We appreciate, and that shows the way you can learn from someone and pick and move with it. And I'm sure as Kenyan government will be able to even do better than BRAC because we've learned a lot from them. So we would want to scale the economic inclusion program for sustainable expansion to reach all the ultra-poor households, the 3.6 million. We are not yet there. We've only done, like for the government-led, we did 15,000, and moving to the 20 counties, we are going to do 26,000. 26,000 is a step forward, but it is a drop in the ocean. But if we combine everything that everyone is doing, then that number will go up. So by providing a coordinated, standardized, and scalable framework, the ultra-poor graduation strategy aims to break the intergenerational cycle of poverty and empower the poorest Kenyans to achieve sustainable livelihoods and dignity and independence. Allow me to quote the former president of the US by saying, "Together we can." And yes, we can. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chuma, for providing such a clear foundation and telling us why we are here today. Now, to dig deeper into the technical journey behind this strategy, which has been going on for several years, our next speaker represents an institution that has worked closely with government throughout this development process, and that is CHASP Advisory. It has provided technical expertise, policy advice, and even evidence support, ensuring that the strategy that we are unveiling here today is visionary, is technically sound, and also grounded in global best practice. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Omondi Oyi from CHASP Advisory. A round of applause, please.
The chief guest, Bwana PS, all the other excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Great. Coming up here, I had two stories. Two stories because I believed very strongly that a lot of speeches are going to be read, really brilliant ones. So I chose just to tell our stories. But one of those stories have been told very brilliantly by Dr. Ochuma. So I will try to possibly speak to that story nonetheless, especially the undocumented parts of that journey. But before I get to that, my name is Omondi Oyi Otieno. I am the Global Director for CHASP Advisory, together with my team, and I really would like for us to take a moment to really congratulate this team and applaud this team for leading this process. So I'd like to begin with Stephanie, Madam Stephanie. Please rise up, please rise up. She was extremely instrumental in the thought process behind this strategy. Then I also have Joyce, I think is in the room somewhere. Joyce, again, rounds of applause. Then my colleague Esther. Yeah, there are other colleagues that are not here, but at least those managed to join. So just a minute about CHASP. We were entrusted with this process. We have been entrusted with many similar processes. We did contribute immensely to the development of the National Policy for Social Protection. We developed the Community of Practice for Social Protection. We supported third-party monitoring for the enhancing registry. We have developed the first ever on-demand registration guidelines for social protection programs within this country. And therefore, I'm persuaded to possibly indicate that whatever we touch turns to gold, but the writing is on the wall. So with that, like I said, I had two stories. The first story really is about the growth of social protection in this country. And those of you who care to remember, round about 2004, 5, maybe 6, this government decided that it can no longer rely on traditional systems for social protection. And when I talk about traditional systems, I mean in every community that we come from, we had some very informal systems of safeguarding those who are most vulnerable. Is that not so? Correct. But then the government needed to step in and put structure to that, and possibly put standard to that. It took it upon it as the responsibility of the state to take care of those who are most vulnerable. And therefore, the first group of people, the pilot was around then, was for the city, obviously, the cash transfer for orphan and vulnerable children. And remember, this was also coming in at the backdrop of HIV and AIDS, and a lot of families were left, a lot of children were left as orphaned, and therefore the state had to step in, right? At the time, all the government had was raw intention. So the intention to take care of populations, right? So it did that for city, obviously. progressively, added the persons with severe disabilities, progressively added the older persons. And, a strong leap forward to 2018, we had the universal pension scheme, which I think is a once amongst very many countries in Africa. So that was the intention. But then there was the realization that we needed systems. We needed to organize ourselves. We needed frameworks. We needed to understand what we were doing. We needed to put meaning and purpose and order so that then we were able to get the best results. Now, if you look at it then, right from 2010, 11, you had the first version of the policy. There have been many tools developed, like the harmonized targeting tool. We had the single registry, which now has evolved into the enhanced single registry. We had the investment plan for social protection. There has been an M&D framework for social protection. There has been all these guidelines and frameworks, and with each guideline, the country becomes better in the manner we manage social protection. So, ladies and gentlemen, today I think is yet another opportunity for us to celebrate our gains, because not so many countries have an ultra-poor graduation strategy. The fact that we are heading that pack and that we are setting standards for other countries to learn from in the manner we always have is definitely something we must constantly be proud of, right? And this is definitely, very thankful to the leadership of the State Department. The State Department has been very progressive, has been accommodative to ideas coming from people like Tadeo, right? When Tadeo says, let us develop this because it's good for the country, they jump on board. When David says, listen, you need to have a CDMIS. CDMIS, ladies and gentlemen, is Community Development MIS. Management Information System, right? So when folks like, David and when I say David, I mean WFP, of course, with their great support, speaks to the State Department of Social Protection and the Department of Social Development and tells them, listen, it's good for the country that we have a CDMS. We have a platform to manage data for some of these programs. Then definitely the government has been very progressive in jumping on board. The next frontier is financing. And I say this because there has been a lot of this progress. There has been a lot of support coming in from development partners. There is a lot of experiential knowledge gathered from all these programs we have implementing and lessons we have learned, sometimes the hard way, right? But one of the things we are yet to seriously get right is financing, sustainable financing for social protection. And I like very much that Dr. Chuma mentioned that. I think she was very clear about the fact that we have a strategy, but this strategy must be financed. One of the things that we did was to ensure that this strategy is action ready. We have a plan, we have a budget. We just don't know where the money is going to come from. Right? So we are hoping that the actors here can then come together. If at all you are keen on investing on EIP, we have a framework. This document is that milestone document. It is by no means cast on stone because it is the first ever in this country. We look forward possibly to revising that in the next years to come based on the lessons that will have been drawn. But then I think it is a remarkable place to start. And I definitely congratulate the partners that worked on this. Now, the other story, the second story is the story of this strategy. Like I said, the undocumented parts. So, this work is 1 year. We started this November last year. And yeah, it's November now, so it's exactly 1 year. That hasn't been easy. There are a lot of things that we set out to do. Some we did right, some we did not do right. I remember there are moments when Tadeo would call me and say, man, Omondi, this document doesn't make sense to me. At that time, we are so confident that we have actually submitted a draft that we can actually work with. And Dr. Lynette would then say, listen, Omondi, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. I still don't get it. And we had to go back to public participation twice. This document had 2 validations. But the reason that had to happen is because we had to ensure that we had a document that really has to work for the country. Not this ambitious document, right, that no one will implement, but then a document that builds on the gains that we already have. Economic inclusion is not new in this country. KSEP has had, this program running for 5 years now, I think, and right now KSEP is moving into KSEP 2, right? So for colleagues who might not be aware, KSEP is Kenya Social Economic Inclusion Program. And partners like BOMA and VE and Vision Fund and BRAC and all of them have been implementing EIP in one form or the other. And we therefore needed to ensure that we build on the gains that they already had, which was missing at some point. So there were points of struggle within this document, but the whole point was to ensure that we really do get it right. And I'm really, really glad that we got it right. Now, in the end, we have a document that is based on our experiences and on the evidence that's available on EIP. 1. Number 2 is we have a document that is owned by the county governments. Right? And because we think county governments are critical actors in this process, they were involved to quite some substantive depth. I think that is the second thing. The third aspect of this document is that it's very innovative and progressive. And whilst it stipulates some of these actions, most importantly, it also speaks to how we can integrate programs with technology, so that then we have the CDMIS and how that is really going to loop into the implementation of EIP. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think my stories are done. I'm really hoping that we utilize this document. It's an amazing document. Please do take time to read through it. There are still a lot more lessons to learn, like I had mentioned. Please feel free, if in the process of implementation you feel there are aspects of it that needs to be changed. I think the DSD is open to such ideas. And I know for a fact that in the end, after a few years of implementation, we possibly should be able to graduate this strategy into a policy. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Another round of applause, please. Thank you very much, Omondi, telling us that we have a clear strategy, a solid budget. Just that small issue of money is what we need to sort out. But when you look at the people in this room, I'm sure someone will start feeling generous very, very soon. Now, our next speaker comes from an organization that is at the heart of this strategy, both financially and technically. Village Enterprise has been mentioned several times since we began. It has supported this development, or the development of this document rather, through funding, through research, evidence generation, and years of on-the-ground graduation implementation. In fact, in some of the communities that Village Enterprise has worked with, it recorded an 83% increase in household consumption. Among the things we're looking to increase, as well as a 10-fold increase in savings 5 years after graduation. So again, evidence-based research. This is the kind of strategy, or the kind of evidence rather, that inspired today's national strategy. Please welcome Mr. Tadeo Muriuki. He is the Chief Government Relations and Technical Assistant Officer at Village Enterprise.
All right, thank you, Michelle. It's a hard act to follow after Omondi and Dr. Lynette's talk. I wish I had started out because they're such charismatic speakers and very passionate. So, but let me start off, first of all, good morning, our chief guest, Honorable Joseph Mutari, Principal Secretary, State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizens Affairs. Our dear friend here, His Excellency Andrew Mwadime, popularly known as Wakuja, Governor of Taita Taveta County, our eminent deputy governors here, Her Excellency Lucy Mulili, Deputy Governor for Makueni, His Excellency Deputy Governor for West Pokot, Robert Komole, Dr. Lineto Chuma, Acting Secretary for State Department, Social Protection, all government of Kenya officials, our very good champions also from the counties of Makueni, Sebastian Chioni, where is he? CC, oh yeah, there, for CC, for social protection, and a very long title. Also counterpart Lucky Litole for West Pokot, CC there also for social protection, and also my very good friend Shedrack Mutungi for Taita Taveta, karibuni sana. Distinguished guests, development partners, let me not forget them. We need to have you guys here. Our partners also in this space who have also done a lot of good work. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. Good morning. As you heard, my name is Tadeo Murioki, and working for Village Enterprise. And Village Enterprise, I had some prepared remarks here, but I'm going to go off the cuff here. So Village Enterprise, we've been in this space for a very long time. We've been here probably longer than 70% of people who've been alive here. We've been here close to 4 decades doing this work in terms of poverty graduation. And we've also been doing this work alongside other partners. You know, our model is adapted from BRAC, as Dr. Lynette mentioned. We also worked alongside our partners, BOMA, Tricolab, and many other partners that are in this space. One of the things that I keep on wondering is that why is this poverty graduation not on the lips of everybody? Okay? When you look at the work, the research, the evidence, if there's one thing that is close to silver bullet of ending extreme poverty, it's this model known as poverty graduation. And it's global evidence. It's not only work that's been done in Kenya. Go to other African nations. Go to India, where we recently visited with the governor here and a few people, and we saw amazing, amazing transformation of what has happened in such countries. So when you go to rooms or you go to spaces and you talk about what we are doing, and people are saying, hey, what is that? That to me still confounds me to that day. And that's the reason I want us to really think about how can this graduation strategy be able to help us get this on the lips of the decision makers, the top guy there, and I'm so glad our chief guest is here. I hope you can be our ambassador there. And also to everybody who's in this poverty space, because we have so many players doing different livelihoods activities. But what we need to do is have a model, a coordinated model that has been shown time and time again, globally, different countries, evidence that people who are part of this program 7 to 10 years later are still showing sustainable gains out of poverty. There's no other approach, I can tell you, that shows such promises. And we have to get these be on the lips and everybody, especially our government officials. So I'm so excited that we have the national government here, we have our representatives from the county government here, so that we can be able to further this agenda. So again, if we can be able, and riding on the comments of Dr. Lynette and Omondi, how do we get this on a coordinated platform? Where can we see how national government, county government, non-government stakeholders, all of us coming together? Let's use this strategy. Let it not sit on shelves. We have excellent documents. We know that we develop, Kenyan government develops, and nothing happens. Let this not be the case this time. Let's see how, and I'm glad Omondi said that it's an action-oriented document that we can be able to, once we get out of here, we can be able to go through it and hit the ground running. If that can happen, I'm telling you, this country is going to see transformation in a way that we'll never imagined. When I think about programs like cash transfers, I don't think anybody will doubt that cash transfers have not had transformation in this country. They have. When you think about programs like school feeding programs, and these days I'm seeing a lot of billboards about that. No one ever doubts that those kind of programs have had that kind of transformation. When you think about models like the community health promoter, where we have community health promoters at the last mile, where we see that kind of transformation and seeing our communities living a healthier life, no one doubts that. And in a similar vein, if we can be able to reach the person, the most vulnerable person, and this is the beauty of poverty graduation, that the one thing it does, it's very intentional on who it works with. It just doesn't go and say, oh, I'm going to work with the brother of the PS or the brother of the sister of the deputy governor. It actually has a system, a way of saying, this is a person that qualifies for this program, and we are going to work with this person on this journey, following a sequence of components or interventions until that person is on a sustainable path of increasing their income. So very intentional, and it's also a program that you can go there 3 years from now and say, oh, let me measure and see if there's been progress. That is the kind of thing we need to be looking at. And that, I hope, that is our ideal in terms of what this graduation strategy will turn out to be. So I'm not going to speak much. Let me just first also want to really thank my team. My team here, let me just start off first of all with Mary Gethenji. I know the CHASP team was seeing Mary Gethenji and they want to pull their hair out. She is please stand up. She's been really meaningful in terms of providing direction and supporting the team in terms of that. John Ochieng, I don't know what I'll do without that guy. Thank you so much. Really good in terms of what we've done. Esther, Esther? Good from Tata Taveta. Gloria, where's Gloria? Gloria also. Mercy. All right, thank you so much. Barbara, thank you for all your support. And finally, Kevin, well, I don't know, he must be somewhere doing his communication work. So that's a team that we've worked very closely. I also want to really thank also CHASP. Your team has been very collaborative. It's good to see my friend here, Stephanie, who has been part of this initiative and a great champion of poverty graduation, even post, I don't call it retirement, but you're still keeping active, and so it's really good to see you here. So we hope that we can continue this collaboration, this coordination. My clarion call, Madam Lynette, we've talked about this. Let's work with the county governments. We cannot do this without the county governments. They are the people on the ground, and we have to work very, very, very closely together. So thank you very much, and I really hope that from here, we're going to see action out of it. Asanteni sana, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, Tadeo, for laying the ground for what Village Enterprise has been doing for the development of this policy document. Our next remarks will come from the private sector, a sector that plays a critical role in financial inclusion for the communities that we are discussing. The graduation approach only succeeds when the households are not only supported to start small businesses, but also are eventually connected to formal financial systems, savings products, access to credit, and even digital payment channels. This is an area where the private sector, and especially Equity Bank, has been a champion in the development of this document. Equity Bank has been a long-standing partner, empowering how low-income households rise through financial literacy, through access to financial services, and even linkages to savings and credit groups. Representing the private sector this morning, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ms. Saraline Wairimu, representing the Equity Bank.
Thank you so much. PS, State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs, Honorable Joseph Montari, Governor Taita Taveta, Deputy Governor Makueni and West Pokot, all leaders present, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm here to represent Equity Group and as well the wider private sector community. And it is a privilege to join you for this important launch of the ultra-poor graduation strategy a milestone that reflects our shared commitment to ensure that no one is left behind in Kenya's journey of inclusive growth. Poverty is not just about lack of income. It is about lack of opportunity, limited access to services, and structural barriers that keep families trapped for generations. The graduation approach that we are launching today provides a proven and globally recognized pathway that restores dignity, builds resilience, and opens doors for sustainable livelihoods. Over the years, at Equity Group, we have worked closely with national and county governments, development partners, and humanitarian agencies to deliver social protection programs, economic inclusion interventions to millions of Kenyans. But what we celebrate today is more than another program. It is a framework for integrating social protection with economic empowerment, ensuring that cash transfers are complemented by financial literacy, skills development, savings, access to credit, and market opportunities or linkages. This strategy that we launched today aligns deeply with the equity philosophy, and particularly our purpose that focuses on transforming lives, giving dignity, and expanding opportunities for wealth creation. We achieve this through democratizing access to finance, promoting self-reliance, and empowering communities to participate meaningfully in economic transformation. We believe that every vulnerable household should have the chance to transition from reliance and dependency to stability, and eventually to prosperity. We are committed to working with all stakeholders present here today to make this through digital financial inclusion, providing secure payment ecosystems, and tailored financial solutions that support graduation pathways and thrive. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sarah Lee. And when you're a program director, you really appreciate those who stick to time. Thank you for those very, very sharp remarks. Now, before the policies, the documents, and the strategies, there have always been people at the heart of this conversation, like the three little children in Dr. Ochuma's presentation, right? These are people whose lives change when interventions like this work. There are people whose stories remind us why we strive to do more of this. Help me in welcoming a beneficiary who represents thousands of households whose futures have changed through the graduation programs. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mercy Musili from Makueni County. She'll share her testimony and her journey through this graduation program. Karibu sana, Mercy.
To our chief guest, all the development partners, and ladies and gentlemen in the room, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Jambo.
Hatujambo.
Hi. Si chai iko hapa nje. Siko hapa nje. Na mkienda huko nje kwenye watu hawajakunywa chai. Those the people now you are talking about atrapua. Hawakai kama nyinyi, wana smile. So simuweke smile. Wakikuja hapa watakimbia. So I'm Mercy Musili from Makueni, Mboni East, Kisau Kiteta Ward. So mimi ni mmoja wa wale wali benefit. Na as I give my story, nataka kuona kila mtu akiconcentrate, sababu ukitoka hapa usiseme ilikuwa story, ama ukitoka hapa useme tulikuwa tu kuna mama alikuwa ameitwa hapo ndio achangie Kenya itoe pesa. You know, tuko na we have a lot of politics out there, si ndio? So nataka ukikaa hapa, it is a true story. Sio kitu ilitengenezwa Makueni ndio watu wapewe pesa Kenya, sawa? So before ninio ianze, hii policy na tupatiwe grant. Let me tell you. Kuna ile inaitwa atrapua. Mnaelewa? Nilikuwa Nairobi 2019 huku sasa. Unajua nikiwa ushago nimezoea kusema Nairobi iko mbali. So kazi iliisha na nikarudi nyumbani. It was 2019. Nilikuwa nimefanywa operation ya mguu. Nilikuwa na growth. So kurudi pale nyumbani hakuna pesa. Umetoka Nairobi and you have nothing. I think mnapata the picture now. So kukaa pale, as we talk of atrapua. Ukipata mtu anaitwa atrapua, hata marafiki hana. Leave alone chakula, hata rafiki hauna. So nilikuwa vile niko without friends. Utaenda kwa watu ukue mzigo. Ukipata rafiki unakuwa mzigo kwa rafiki. Si ni sawa? Sababu chumvi yake haitakuwa na saa yote kakiberiti akata kaa kwake sababu ywe umekuwa mzigo because you want to be a friend. You understand the point? So marafiki ni shida. When you hear about atrapua, please hiyo kitu weka kwa akili yako. There are people there when you wanna suffer. So niliona juu maisha ni ngumu, nilianza kucrash stones. Ile kugonga mawe. Mnaielewa? Kakoto. Wheelbarrow 80 shillings. Na hautauza leo upate pesa. So unaweza maliza even a month ndio uone tinga imekujia hiyo kakoto. Na niko na watoto wanasoma. So sikuwa najua kama wataenda high school. So sikuvunjika moyo. Niliendelea na kugonga kakoto, but when Village Enterprise waliingia, si ati walitupatia grant saa hiyo. Walikuja kutuelimisha. Na through kutuelimisha, niliona kumbe kuna future somewhere. Because nilikuwa nasikia kuna pesa inakuja. So nilikuwa nang'ang'ana sababu kuna pesa inakuja, iko mahali. Ukisikia kaharufu tu unang'ang'ana sababu kuna siku katakukaribia. So nilikuwa nang'ang'ana. Na walituambia tuanze kusave pesa, tukatengenezewa vikundi. Lakini hiyo pesa nilikuwa na save, kakoto inaweza save pesa. Nilianza kutengeneza kamba. Na unajua kamba za konge venye zinakuwasha. But unawashwa sababu unataka pesa. So nimekwambia ukisikia atrapua. But what I know about atrapua, si about pesa. Sasa ni mindset. Niko na umaskini. Umeelewa? Juu sababu sasa umeitwa maskini, utaremain kuwa nini? Sababu sasa hauna, but ukianza kusikia harufu ya pesa, unapanuka. Sasa una get the point. Vile mnaongea mambo ya end poverty, when you are talking about ending poverty, wale wako pale nje they are waiting because now wataanza kupanuka. Kuna mtu anajua kuna pesa inakuja mahali. Anaanza kuifikiria, je, ikikuja nitafanya nini? Hata fikiria kuvaa nguo, lakini lazima atavaa kamoja. Kakikuja na atakula kanyama. But lazima atapanuka, nitaanza biashara gani? Si unaelewa? Lakini kama kuna kitu naweza anza. So nilianza kushona kamba, nikaanza kupata ile 20 shillings. Nilikuwa nalazimisha mtu anunue hiyo kamba ya mbuzi. Ndio hata mimi nipate ya kwenda kusave kwa ile kikundi. So nilikuwa naweza shona hata za 100, hata mimi nikaweke wapi? Kwa saving nisionekane sina. Marafiki pia wasinipotelee sana. So vile nilipata hii grant, saa zile ilitamukwa itakuja next week. Nilikimbia kwa shule fulani. Juu nilikuwa nimeandikisha nitaanza kazi ya mtumba. Si una sketch mahali ati nitaanza hii biashara, ni ya hii pesa, transport, nini. Mimi nilikuwa nimeandika ya mtumba. But vile nilijua zinakuja next week na nimepatiwa ka ATM, nilikuwa nimekashika hivi na kapin. So nilikimbia kwa shule fulani nikawaambia wanipatie ile kazi nimesikia wakitamuka ya tracksuit. Wakaniuliza ni pesa ngapi? Nikamwambia nitafanyia shule yote uwe ni kutoka tuseme standard 1 mpaka standard 8 nitawafanyia na 1500. So ule mdogo na mkubwa wote sikuwa nataka kujua sababu nataka pesa na nimepata capital somewhere. So nilinunua tracksuit, nilikuwa natumana Nairobi. Na t-shirt ni 300, tracksuit 700. Ninawaambia siri sababu hamtaenda kufanya biashara. So na mimi kazi yangu ya kuprint uniform, najua tracksuit moja t-shirt ni 150, koti ni 150, hiyo ni 300. Naongeza kafaida hapo sasa 200, 1500. Nguo moja inanipatia 500. Si kuprint ni kwangu. So nilingangana nikatumana hizo boda hapa Nairobi, vile pesa zilifika. My mentor alikuwa anangojea mtumba. So vile alifika kwangu kuniuliza wewe ulinunua nini? Alipata saa hiyo kwanza Mi nishauza za kwanza, niko za pili napeleka shule saa hiyo, hata ananiwestia time because nimeanza biashara. Yeye ananiuliza chenye nimenunua na mimi wateja wananingoja kwa shule. Nikamwambia wewe piga picha haraka, mimi nataka kwenda. So akaona kweli niko serious, na ulizo umefika wapi, wazazi wameleta pesa. Na from there nikaona kweli pesa ni sabuni ya roho. Hao watu wako pale nje wanangoja hii implementation. Kuna mtu atatokea mahali, muulize kwani ameendea wapi Mombasa ile kakitu. Because sijui kama mnaelewa, mnashika haraka. Sasa ama ameenda kitu akachukua akamutia biashara because amepanuka haraka. Pesa ikipatikana, hii grant mkienda vizuri, alafu mentors wakuwe ni wale wanajua, like wale tulikuwa na wao, walikuwa wao. Sijui walikuwa wametolewa wapi. Sijui kama wengine watapatikana kama hao. Wanakupeleka polepole. Wanakupatia hope ya maisha. Ya kwamba kuna siku utakuwa the way I am. Siku anaitwa hata kwa mikutano. Hata watu wakienda kwa Kachadhi mahali nilikuwa nafanya kusikia maiki zikiongea huko. Utaenda ubebe watoto kumkakule na hamna kitu ya kutoa. But saa hii unapata hata karatasi zikiandikwa mimi ndo number 1. Watu kwa kijiji wakiongea unasikia, na si unaweza uliza fulani. Like kuna siku kulikuja kazi mtaani, nikapata watu wanakosana na mtu kama ward administrator. Hata wasikizani na yeye, vita zimekuwa hapo. But sababu waliona wazungu wakikuja kwangu, nikasimama hapo katikati nikamwambia mwe ni mseo wale amsikii, yani God is good. Wakajibu haraka. Ward administrator anijui, juu nilikuwa mgeni. Akasimama kando na nikawaongelesha kama wananisikiza. Unajaza mtu, nimeshaleta gari zimefuatana, hata watu wa serikali wote walikuwa kwangu wakikuja kuona hiyo biashara. Si niko na sauti. So mtu mwenye ako pale nje anaweza sikika. Yani umaskini unaweza fanya hata mtu anajikunja. Si ati watu hawajasoma, watu wamesoma. Lakini out of umaskini unajikunjia pale, una hata sauti. Hata mwanamke anaweza kuwa amesoma lakini juu umaskini anagongwa na mzee kila siku. But pesa ikipatikana, badges za form 1, but I know sababu hatuna hizo logo, ni lazima watoto watakuwa admitted form 1. Ndio maana nimechange to business, naendea masanduku, niendea hizo ndoo zao za form 1s, slippers, rubbers, lazima watakuwa nazo. So una change biashara kulingana. So msisikie ni story village enterprise au mentors wakikufikia vizuri, wakifika. Mimi niko ready kutembea na wao. Niko ready hata mkiniita Taveta uniambie nataka hii squad wapatie kila mtu biashara yenye atafanya. Nitakuwa ready. Sitakwambia ati hata kama niyo ice, wewe uko kwa soko unaweza tengeneza ice, na wewe unaweza uza. Kila mtu, kuna biashara ziko mingi sana hapa town. So all the best. Asante.
Thank you so much, Mercy. What a breath of fresh air, really. Na December pia inakuja, Mercy. Usifikiria from 1 to December kuna pesa nyingi sana. I think it's safe to say that Mercy's voice is a very heartbeat of the project and the ultra-poor graduation strategy. So much honesty, so much strength in her story. These are the stories of everyday people, everyday lives have been transformed. Now, before we move on, let's just re-energize a bit. I mean, Mercy's story is from Makueni County. Let's see here who is from Makueni County. Representing the county of Makueni. All right, there we go. A county that has benefited from this. West Pokot County representatives. There you go, Asante Sana, and my people from Taita Taveta County. Yeah, I may seem biased. Oh yes, we have my governor here, Asante Sana, and everybody else. Please raise your hand and just, say hello, representing every other county that we will be discussing. Now, we'd like to hear from the counties themselves. The counties are not just the implementers of this project, but also the innovators. And I'd like to begin with a county that has perhaps consistently shown the most courage in uplifting its most vulnerable population. West Pokot County isn't just a participant in this graduation approach, it's actually a pioneer. This is a county that took the bold step of developing its own county level ultra-poor graduation policy. And this aligned the political leadership, the community structures, and even development partners to ensure that the poorest households were not forgotten. It's a region that faces climatic shocks, a region that faces livestock losses and economic vulnerability, but also demonstrating that with political will, coordination, and targeted investment, even the most fragile households can build resilience. The man representing this leadership today is none other than the Deputy Governor of West Pokot County, His Excellency Robert Komole. Let's give him a round of applause as he joins us on stage.
Thank you very much, Michelle. The Principal Secretary, State Department of Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs, Honorable Governor of Taita Taveta, Andrew Mwadime, the Deputy Governor for Makueni, His Excellency Mulili, representatives of Village Enterprise that's led by Tadeo Muriuki, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. My name is Robert Komole. I'm the Deputy Governor of West Pokot County, and I'm here representing the Governor of West Pokot County, who is outside the country. So I'm glad to give his apologies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to join you today for the launch of Kenya National Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy, a transformative initiative that promises to lift our most vulnerable citizens out of the deepest poverty and into sustainable livelihoods. Ladies and gentlemen, the importance of this strategy, extreme poverty is not only about low income, it is the accumulation of many disadvantages, including lack of assets, exclusion from financial systems, poor health, weak safety nets, and limited opportunities. The graduation approach, therefore, which Kenya is now formally institutionalizing, offers a structured and proven pathway to address these challenges in a lasting way. This model combines several interventions, asset support, practical training, savings, and mentorship to help families move from dependency to self-reliance. It's not a one-off relief measure, but a deliberate investment in people's resilience, dignity, and productivity. I wish, ladies and gentlemen, to commend Village Enterprise, whose technical expertise and field experience have shaped how we understand and apply the graduation model in Kenya and beyond. Through its programs, thousands of households have started viable micro-enterprises, formed saving groups, and benefited from mentorship that turns training into practice. More importantly, Village Enterprise contribution is not limited to direct delivery. It also provides practical technical assistance to county governments, including West Pokot County, where I represent, so that graduation programs can be run within government systems. With the toolkits, clear targeting protocols, mentor training, and support for MIS and M&E, counties are able to plan, finance, implement, and track UPG end-to-end. In West Pokot, for example, we have fully embraced the ultra-poor graduation model and aligned it to our county plans and budgets. We have now begun identifying program participants who will benefit from our first county-funded cohorts. This makes a new chapter where implementation is not donor-led, but government-owned. West Pokot County has been a pioneer in this space, as mentioned by the previous speaker, becoming the first county in Kenya to develop a poverty graduation policy, followed by a corresponding ultra-poor graduation bill, which is already been tabled before the County Assembly of West Pokot and is set for passage this week. This legal and policy framework will anchor the graduation approach within our planning and budget systems, ensuring that it remains part of our long
within public finance. Very simply, Makueni.
And all protocols observed that have been established previously. Good morning. Thank you very much. My name is Lucy Mulili, Deputy Governor Makueni County. I'm representing His Excellency the Governor Honorable Mutula Kilonzo Jr., who is unable to be with us. But today, nevertheless, I'm representing him in this meeting, and it's such a transformative meeting. And I think, let me say, when Ochuma was presenting, there is a picture that was shown there of two young boys, and it can't get out of my mind. I mean, they say a picture is worth, I think the media, is worth what? Yes, I think that looked like extreme poverty, and I kept on wondering, I think the mother doesn't even have the soap to go and buy the soap to be able to clean the clothes. Thank you, Ochuma. That was a very good picture, and really I must talk about it. Now, I have a small speech here which I'm going to read, and it's an honor for Makueni County to join the nation in launching this transformative ultra-poor graduation strategy. We commend the national government and its partners for providing a clear and coherent framework to lift the ultra-poor from chronic poverty to sustainable livelihoods. The UPG strategy aligns strongly with the county government of Makueni long-standing commitment to inclusive development, social protection, and economic empowerment. The government of Makueni County remains firmly committed to ensuring that no one is left behind, in line with Sustainable Development Goal 1 on ending poverty in all its forms. In this spirit, we have prioritized social and economic inclusion through the implementation of the ultra-poor graduation program as a key strategy for reducing poverty, which currently stands at 39.7%. And today in this meeting, I think some figures have been given here of some counties with 72% poverty, and I realize there is a lot that needs to be done. We have to pull up, we have to pull up people from down there to somewhere. So Makueni has made significant progress in establishing a solid foundation for UPG implementation. Notably, we have developed a comprehensive policy framework and a supporting bill to guide the program rollout. Further, we have established a fully fledged UPG secretariat, inducted a dedicated UPG implementation unit, and trained mentors and mentor supervisors who will provide direct support for participating households throughout their graduation journey. To demonstrate our commitment, Makueni County has allocated resources towards piloting the program, with a substantial portion of the budget directed towards supporting persons with disabilities from extremely poor households. This reflects our inclusive development agenda and our recognition of the disproportionate vulnerabilities faced by marginalized groups. As the national government advances the economic inclusion program, Makueni County expresses its full willingness to collaborate, align efforts, and contribute to the success of the national UPG agenda. Makueni also commits to deepening collaboration with development partners and other counties to share best practices and build a stronger national ecosystem for poverty graduation. We further commit to co-financing targeted interventions, strengthening the local social protection system, and expanding livelihood opportunities for the ultra-poor. With coordinated efforts at both national and county levels, the UPG strategy will unlock the dignity, productivity, and potential of our most vulnerable citizens. And I think Mercy talked about it much more when she talked about the journey she has undergone, and including that even at the family level, when poverty is reduced, violence or GBV reduces at the family level. Yes, it does. Today's launch is a powerful step toward a Kenya where no one is left behind, and Makueni County is proud to be part of this transformative journey. I thank you all. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Deputy Governor Mulili. They are representing the governor of Makueni County. Now, our final county leader this morning represents a county that we've established is very special to me, and that is Taita Taveta County. It is also one of the earliest adopters of the graduation approach, and also the county where, again, I grew up in and began school. Now, when Taita Taveta embraced the economic inclusion program, that is also striking. We had documented reductions in severe food insecurity. We had improvements in household resilience, as well as stronger economic linkages for thousands and thousands of families. The county itself is proof that when the leadership invests in its people, then transformation doesn't just happen, but continues to compound. At the helm of the leadership of Taita Taveta County is a governor who is also known for his determination to ensure the people of the county thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming His Excellency Honorable Andrew Mwadime, the governor of Taita Taveta County. Mr. Governor, karibu sana.
You know, she's my voter, so thanks a lot. Honorable Joseph Motari, Principal Secretary, State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs, Deputy Governors both West Pokot and Makueni respectively, Dr. Lynette Ochuma, Acting Secretary, Directorate of Social Development, Mr. Tadeo Muriuki, Chief of Government Relations and Technical Assistance Officer, Village Enterprise, representatives from development organizations and NGOs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Is it good morning or good afternoon? It's good morning, just a few minutes to good afternoon. Actually, I'm deeply honored to join you today for this historic occasion. The launch of the Kenya National Ultra Poor Graduation Strategy, UPG that is. This strategy represents a bold government's commitment to lifting the most vulnerable citizens out of extreme poverty through a structured, evidence-based, and sustainable approach. Our law implemented a range of programs designed to support bright and needy students from vulnerable backgrounds, capitation for trainees, agricultural support, including fertilizer distribution to smallholder farmers to strengthen food security, grants and empowerment programs targeting youth groups, women, and persons with disabilities. While these initiatives have brought relief to many families, we acknowledge that stand-alone interventions are often not sufficient to sustainably lift households out of extreme poverty. This understanding has guided us toward more structured, long-term poverty alleviation pathways. On policy reforms for sustainable poverty alleviation, to strengthen our institutional and policy framework, the county government has undertaken deliberate policy development processes to align with the national strategies and global best practices. Taita Taveta County Poverty Alleviation Policy, it was developed and launched in the year 2024, and its policy provides coordinated multi-sectoral approach to poverty reduction. It focuses on building household economic resilience, strengthening social protection mechanisms, promoting enterprise development, institutionalizing partnerships with NGOs and development actors. Taita Taveta County Poverty Alleviation Empowerment and Enterprise Fund Bill 2025 developed in 2025. The bill operationalizes the poverty alleviation policy by proposing a dedicated county fund for poverty alleviation and enterprise development, direct grants to extremely poor households, structured graduation pathways, a governance framework for monitoring accountability and partnership. The bill aligns seamlessly with the ultra-poor graduation model, incorporating components such as consumption support, asset support, business training, mentorship, savings groups, and market linkages. County commitment to the ultra-poor graduation strategy. The county government of Taita is fully committed to operationalizing the UPG model. In the 2025-2026 financial year, we as a county government has allocated 10 million for ultra-poor graduation implementation. This funding will support over 700 extremely poor households to establish and grow enterprises, while Village Enterprise is providing technical assistance. Provided staffing and institutional support, county officers have been designed to support mobilization, training, mentorship, and data collection during the implementation. What's up? You wanted to change it to a dancing floor, eh? Okay, strengthened partnership. Village Enterprise will offer technical assistance in targeting and identifying ultra-poor households, enterprise and financing training, business group formation, continuous mentorship, monitoring and evaluation. Appreciation and call to collaboration. I wish to extend heartfelt appreciation to Village Enterprise for its unwavering commitment to economic inclusion and technical support to counties. The State Department for Social Protection, under the leadership of PS Joseph Motari, for spearheading this national strategy. Dr. Lynette Ochuma and the Director of Social Development for the technical leadership. All development partners, NGOs, and civil society organizations working in the community development space. As Taita Taveta County, we extend an open invitation to all of you. Come and partner with us. We operate in an open door policy with the slogan, Uongozi ni kuongozana. We welcome collaboration in enterprise development, youth skilling, financial inclusion, agribusiness, value chains, water, health, and social protection initiatives. As we launch the National Ultra Poor Graduates today, we are not just unveiling a document. We are affirming a shared belief that every household in Kenya deserves the dignity, opportunity, and the chance to have a better life. Taita Taveta County stands ready to implement, partner, and innovate to make this vision a reality. Out of the cuff, I personally, as the governor of Taita Taveta, you know this is a written speech. I personally, as the governor of Taita Taveta, by the experience, and you know, I've been a member of parliament 2 times and then I went for governorship. What I've been seeing, actually, the strategy the PSC has, it is elevating, or rather say, it's mitigating so many things. Anytime 24/7, 365 days in a year, come to my house. You'll never miss over 100 people. Outside my gate, most of them, the cry is, I've not taken food last night. I've not taken tea. Even at times, I get overwhelmed. I start asking myself, nilienda kufanya nini kutafuta ugavana? Because it's not an easy job. It's not easy job. So when we're going to get our peers who is trying to mitigate this problem, we should applaud him and support him. When you see village enterprise moving up and down, it's a noble cause. BRAC International plus village enterprise. I remember Taita Taveta County, Makueni County, and West Pokot to start with. Even he sent us a trip to India to see how exactly they are doing over there. I was really happy for that, and I appreciated on behalf of the citizens of Taita Taveta. You know, as I'm talking right now, we have not received the rains. Even I'm wondering how my Xmas will be. Our government is flexible. There is no, I mean, what do we call this? You know, sometimes English disappear. It never came from my home. Yeah? There is no, I mean, rigidity, something like that. We are very flexible. Anytime, I person as a governor, anytime you want to reach me, you can always reach me at the easiest way. And reason is, we want to move very fast. We want to, when Mama, she was talking over here, what she has faced, and when I looked at her face, in fact, nilikuwa nasema mama, hata nikitoka hapa, lazima nikubembeleze, labda pengine unaweza kuwa wangu wa pili. You talk so nice, and from the where you came from, and up to now, and you're talking about educating your children, even you're going to buy equipments for your children who is going to Form 1. In India, we also actually saw the same example, exactly as what you're, and that is, and you know, we Africans, not only Kenyans, but we believe in seeing, and we have seen you. Thank you very much. You can even be ambassador for our country. Bwana PS, she can be a very good ambassador to our country. She can go all over these countries, starting with the Taita Taveta, how you came up, especially when village enterprise, when the PS chips in Taita Taveta, because right now our poverty levels are very, very high. That's why most of the time I am moving helter-skelter all over. You know, we don't have even a single industry, Bwana PS. And you know what it means. Right now, the model for giving out this equitable share, it is 1 shilling, 1 head. And mark you, our heads are few. Therefore, we are getting very little. Among us, the 3 down in the list, Taita Taveta is one of them. And unfortunately, the land mass is vast. So I'm suffering. In providing services, people who are scattered, it's more expensive than where you can provide service to people who are within. And I thank the president with his model of cheap housing, where people are clustered in one area. That idea is a powerful idea. So, Bwana PS, with a humble eye, now all NGOs are here, are partners. Mwangalie Taita Taveta with a humble eye. We are suffering because most of our people they left out Taita Taveta to look for jobs, especially the educated lads. They went to other counties to look for jobs and our population. So when you hear people talking that Taita Tavetas are not giving birth, ni urongo. It's because they went outside to look for jobs. Even right now, as I told you earlier on, I'm moving helter-skelter. I'm forming industries. That's why we're coming up with the biggest steel industry in Africa. That's why we are coming up with the biggest rice plant in Kenya. You know, most of you, when I ask you, where does rice come, we'll mention Mwea and Ahero. But let me tell you, when you see the ice of Mount Kilimanjaro, when it melts, it hits down first Taita, and then it goes to Tanzania. We have a whooping just on the borderline, over 300,000 acres for rice. While you are talking, Mwea is just about 30,000. When you talk Ahero, it's just about 10,000 hectares. Big potential. That's why we are coming up with the banana industry. Taita Taveta, if you don't know, they're the second largest producers of bananas in Kenya. After Kisii, it's Taita, then go to Meru. When you talk about macadamias, we have the best quality macadamias in the country, and even the potential, but it's because we have brokers. But if you combine all the macadamias of Embu, Kirinyaga, Meru, it's when maybe they can fit for Taita Taveta. And we are coming up with the modern add value machine. That's why already we are finalizing the plant for making ice creams and yogurt. And you know Taita Taveta has lots of mineral. Therefore, those animals, when they're going to eat that grass, their milk is different. We are just about to finalize that industry. Already, anytime we are launching a mega company, which some blue chips in the country can also chip in and make an industry so that our young ones, when I see them in other countries, I want them to be back. Even yourself, you'll be welcome to come and try Taita Taveta. So, good development partners, our peers, our close brothers, BRAC International. In fact, I hear you're opening office here. Come to Taita Taveta and that office there. Because I know BRAC International, you're opening an office for Africa, headquarters here in Nairobi. But Lisha Mawazo, go and open this office in Taita Taveta. I'll give you free land. Come over, so that you assist Taita Taveta to grow up. You know, there are some countries which were left out. And Taita Taveta is one of them. Makiu, Machakos, and Makueni, Makueni wasn't there. And even that time when Machakos and Makueni were together, still Taita Taveta in terms of landmass was even bigger. And now imagine when we were developing the 2010 constitution, we thought the counties which were left out, they're the ones who are supposed to get more money so that we can encourage urban movement to rural areas, not from rural to urban. Right now, Nairobi is congested. I wonder why they are getting a lot of money. Everything is done. Hospitals are there, roads are there, everything is there. But countries like Taita Taveta, we are getting very small, and yet the land is empty. We need roads for the farmers because the topology is up, down. We have mountains, and again, down, we have plain land. So, our good brothers and sisters, I can see, MC, you're looking at me. Therefore, without further ado, asanteni sana, asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Governor. Asante sana, Mr. Governor, for laying the case for Taita Taveta County and becoming a bit of a politician at the end. It's always very important to champion for your county. Now, at this point, I'd like to acknowledge the presence today of the County Executive Committee member for Garissa, Hawa Abdi Sahal, who's joined us Thank you so much, Hawa. She is waving to the crowd, coming all the way from Garissa County, which is among the counties looking to implement the ultra-poor graduation strategy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're now moving to the next segment of the program. And this is a brief video presentation on the economic inclusion program that was being mainstreamed or spearheaded by the national government, now being mainstreamed under the National Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy to ensure that households move towards sustainable livelihoods. So what we'll see in this video is the culmination of many government programs, including cash transfer programs and even business training, now merging with the ultra-poor graduation model of startups, capital, savings groups as well, to move counties from extreme poverty. So let's kindly direct our attention to the screen as we present this very brief but powerful video dubbed The Graduation Approach, Global Evidence and Local Relevance.
Hapo kitambo sikuwa na pesa, lakini nilikuwa inalima tu kidogo kidogo hivi, hata chakula sipati sawa sawa.
But then came a new chance. Through Kenya's economic inclusion program led by the government with support from the World Bank and FCDO, Catherine received more than just cash transfers. She accessed startup capital, mentorship, and support to bring water closer to her home. That changed everything.
Nilipopewa pesa, nikaenda nikanunua hospital kubwa. Nikaweka 2 kilometers. Nikaleta maji hapa nikasimamisha hapo juu. Nikaanza kulima shamba kubwa sana.
With income comes dignity. Today's Catherine's children are healthier. She can seek medical care and her home is filled with food from her own farm.
And it is not only affordability, but also the quality of the meals they are getting has been enhanced.
Nikipanda kitu, nipate pesa, naweza kulipa school fees, kuwanunulia uniform, wakingojeka niwapeleke hospitali, hata mimi niende hospitali.
Real change is always a shared journey. At Tuanembe, a village savings and loans association, Catherine and other women began saving together, investing in their futures and building resilience one loan at a time.
We give them the consumption support of Kenya shillings 2,000 monthly for a period of 12 months. Then we give them a seed capital of Kenya shillings 30,000. This is a one-off so that they can start different enterprises. Then there is the bit of mentorship and porting.
Tukishia out na nimepata 51,000, nataka kujenga nyumba nazo.
Catherine's is just one story. Around the world, only 10% of the 700 million people in extreme poverty are reached by economic inclusion programs. The Kenya Economic Inclusion Program has already reached 15,000 households so far. Now Kenya is expanding the program to reach 26,000 more people with steady support from the World Bank and other partners and WFP's technical assistance.
We've gotten support. We are moving on to the next phase where now we are going to 25 counties.
We are so glad having been part of the journey of co-designing the expansion of the Kenya Economic Inclusion Program jointly with the government and the World Bank over the past 1.5 years. And we are ready to focus the program even stronger in sectors such as sustainable food systems and green value chains.
Change takes time, but progress is real. Catherine's journey proves that with the right support, families can improve their livelihoods and economic situations. With your support, thousands more can do the same.
Is now working or has been integrated into the National Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy as well. And we're seeing progress and, someone about to build a house when they had nothing before. It's quite some progress. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we now welcome a leader whose vision and commitment has guided this entire agenda of economic inclusion. As Principal Secretary in the State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizens Affairs, Honorable Joseph Motari has been at the forefront of strengthening Kenya's social protection systems. He's ensured that the ultra-poor aren't just supported, but also empowered with pathways to lasting opportunity. He has championed the move from short-term assistance to sustainable, evidence-backed transformation, and his leadership is central to the strategy that we will be launching here today. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming our chief guest today, Honorable Joseph Motari, Principal Secretary, State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizens Affairs.
Thank you so much. What Governor has just said here, I can confirm is true, because at one time I was DO1 in Taveta. So I understand his county very well. And what he's just said there, I can second and confirm that that is true. I don't know, we've been sitting for quite some time. Can we stand and stretch a bit and feel good? Because I think this speech is a bit long. So please stretch and thank you so much. Let us be seated. Asanteni sana. Asante sana. Nishukuru huyu mama mwenye ameongea vizuri sana. Asante sana. You have, I thought I was the only one who graduated out of poverty. Asanteni sana. Nishukuru pia the deputy governor from Pokot, where I also worked as a district commissioner. Mahali nilifanya kazi vizuri sana. Miaka 5 nikiwa DC kule Alale. So I really understand what you are talking about, and I really appreciate that. In the room, I have one that I assisted graduate out of poverty. Somebody called Francis Lomoni. You're where? Yes, that young man. Can you come? Can you come? At one time, I was seen as a mad DC when I was a district commissioner in Pokot, and I hunted these young people. I hunted them to take them to school, and this is one victim that I took to school. How are you, my brother? Habari ya wewe? You finished? Ulimaliza mpaka wapi? Diploma. Sasa nisingepeleka wewe shule. Sasa hii ungekuwa unaiba ng'ombe kule. Asante sana. This guy, I forced him to school, and I made sure that he went all through to class 8. But I left that place only to meet him here. He's now the communication officer for the deputy governor's office in West Pokot. So asante sana. And there are many more that we tried to pull out of poverty. There are many more. Others have graduated, and they are looking for jobs in this town. 5 of them came to my office, deputy governor, for me to assist, and I did put them through to the PS, Arumonyang, to see whether we can assist them get jobs. So sometimes when you are told the poverty is there, please just understand that poverty is there. Some of us are victims of that poverty. I always give you my stories, but today I'll not give you my story. Spare me today. Our Excellency, the Governor of Taita Taveta, Honorable Andrew Mwadime, our Deputy Governors present, Lucy Mwalili from Makueni, and Robert Komolel from West Pokot, my good friends, Tadeo, Muriuki Samowili, and Omondi, Otieno, Oyi, representatives of the World Bank, representatives of the United Nations, our development partners present here today, my colleagues from both the national and county governments, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today we gather to launch the Kenya Ultra Poor Graduation Strategy 2025-2030, a bold and timely framework that positions Kenya on a transformative path toward graduating households out of extreme poverty, strengthening resilience to climate shocks, and deepening economic inclusion across all communities. Ladies and gentlemen, just note the word graduation. Even if you walked out of this place without anything, just note the word graduation and the word poverty. Just those two are enough. Don't remember how I was looking like, that dark, ile mtu nyeusi, black person who was talking there. Don't remember that. But please remember that graduation out of poverty is the key word. I know many of you in this room don't understand what we are talking about. But some of us whom you see here understand what poverty means and understands when you say bye to poverty. Some of you may not understand that. But some of us who went to school barefooted, where our legs were cracked, tungetembea tupite somewhere, and where you have walked through, somebody will know this is a Swantis who has passed here. Because you are leaving the marks on the ground as you walk to school. Some of us who put a short trouser when we were going to Form 1, all through to the primary school, somebody like me, huyu mtu anaongea hapa today, could not manage a short trouser or a shoe when I was doing my primary school. At a tint bone of one family, one mom and one father. Nyinyi mkizaa wawili, kina Saralene hapa wanafikiria wamezaa. The Kenya Poverty Report 2022 presents a reality we cannot afford to ignore. 39.8% of Kenyans live below the poverty line, and 7.1% live in extreme poverty, grappling with the chronic deprivation and persistent vulnerability to shocks. These figures are more than statistics. They represent households struggling to feed their children, young people without meaningful opportunity, and communities trapped in long-standing cycles of vulnerability. Ladies and gentlemen, over the years, both state and non-state actors have implemented innovative interventions to alleviate poverty, and we have made remarkable progress between the year 2019 and 2024. The pilot phase of the Economic Inclusion Program supported 15,000 households to advance towards self-reliant livelihoods. Household assets grew significantly. Participants' savings increased by 35%. Extreme poverty declined from 63% to 46%, and severe food insecurity reduced by nearly 1/3. Other complementary programs, including the Kuza Jamii program, supported by FCDO, strengthened women's decision-making power and enhanced their status within households and communities. While we appreciate these efforts, they have often remained fragmented and uncoordinated. Somebody's talking from here. Hence, the need for a unified national strategy. Our progress towards poverty graduation extends beyond social protection. Through bold and targeted national initiatives, we have empowered nearly 900,000 young people through the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, supporting 150 youth-led enterprise. The government's subsidized fertilizer program, which has been mentioned by the governor here. Of course, what the government has done on subsidized fertilizer is quite huge. Some of you may think it's a political thing. It is not a political thing that the President, Our Excellency the President, is doing, but we have now enough food. When our government was coming into place, you remember what was happening in the streets. You remember we were putting our sufriyas in the heads simply because the sufriyas had nothing to cook. But now, this is a thing of the past, and it has been it is a gone thing. We have enough food. When you have the food, then this mother here, this child will smile towards the mother, and the mother will smile. Okay? Sorry, I have a small flu, so you'll excuse me for that. Supporting over 150 youth-led enterprise, the government's subsidized fertilizer program has significantly reduced production costs for millions of smallholder farmers, boosted national food production, and enhanced household food security. The Hunger Safety Net program implemented by NDMA continues to shield over 133,000 vulnerable households in arid and semi-arid regions from hunger and climate-related shocks. Through the Inua Jamii Cash Transfer Program, over 1.7 million vulnerable citizens receive over 3.5 billion Kenya shillings per month. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a game changer. The cash transfer that we give to the people of this nation, to the poor of this nation, makes a lot of changes to those families. Some of you may think 2,000 is so little, but I tell you, this is not little. Some, and I know that the governors and the deputy governors here will tell you, down there getting 50 bob, getting shilingi hamsini is a tall order to some families. And that is why we are talking of ultra-poor people of this nation. This has boosted child nutrition, advanced disability inclusion, and improved community resilience, ensuring that no one is left behind. These are just a few among many initiatives being implemented by the national government to eradicate poverty in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kenya Ultra Poor Graduation Strategy 2025-2030 provides a unified platform for coordination across all social sectors and the development actors. It promotes and gains the confidence and capability to thrive independently. The climate that we have in this nation is quite erratic and therefore leads to ultra poor. If you are poor and your two goats go, ile mbuzi mbili ulikuwa nayo imeenda, then you remain how? How do you remain, ladies and gentlemen? More poorer. Village Enterprise, together with many partners, has demonstrated the power of integrated and locally led graduation approaches. Their invaluable contribution to this strategy's development cannot be overestimated. Ladies and gentlemen, the launch of the Kenya Ultra Poor Graduation Strategy 2025-2030 marks a defining moment for our nation. It signals hope, unity, and our collective belief that with the right support, every Kenyan has the potential to thrive. My department remains committed to working with all well-meaning partners to expand coverage and enhance coordination and ensure that the benefits of our interventions reach every deserving household. I thank you so much, and may God bless you, and may God bless Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. PS, for that very powerful keynote address. I'll ask you to please not take a seat just yet, Mr. PS. We'll actually need you. Yes, we need the chief guest here, because after that powerful address, ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask you to stand right here.
Oh,
right
good.
Behind here. It's now time for the moment that we've all been waiting for. And this is what has brought us here today. Following that powerful address, the keynote address by our chief guest, it is now time for Kenya to officially unveil this national commitment to ending extreme poverty in Kenya. And before we do this, Mr. PS, our chief guest, will be leading us into this historic moment. I'd like to also invite our development partners, including representatives from the three counties. Governor Mwadime, please join the PS. We can have the county representatives standing to the PS's left. Let's also have Deputy Governor Mulili, as well as Deputy Governor Komole joining the PS. We'd also like to invite development partners to stand on the PS's right side, and that is Village Enterprise, Tadeo, perhaps you can stand with the PS. We also have Omondi from CHASP. Do we have someone from FCDO who can also be part of this historic unveiling of the document today. All right, great. So we have our development partners standing to the right of the PS. And so, ladies and gentlemen, to lead us into this historic action, our chief guest, Honorable Motari, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizens Affairs, will be launching the baton. Oh, we also have WFP. Do we have a WFP rep? We can be part of the group that is doing the launch. There we go, sir. Please join the group. Thank you very much. That is a representative from WFP. We also have representatives from BOMA, do we? That's also, it's a very small space, but we have space for one more. Please join us, sir. Thank you very much. Now, as he joins us, PS Motari, in front of you is the launch button. It's not a bomb, it's a launch button for our document today. Now, once you press it, sir, the Kenya National Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy will be officially unveiled to the country. Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready? Are we ready? All right, so let's count down together. PS Motari, in the count of 5, please press the button. Can we begin the countdown? 5, 4, 3, 1. PS has already pressed the button. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the official unveiling of the Kenya Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy 2025-2030. A huge round of applause, please. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Kenya National Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy, now officially launched. You can see the 3D dummy there. That is what the document will look like. And we have several for everybody in the room to get a copy. And that is a powerful, powerful moment that has brought us all here today. Let's all clap for ourselves for officially launching the Kenya Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. What we've unveiled today is not just a document, it's a national roadmap that will bring us out of extreme poverty in the country. Now, as we take the pictures, I'd like to direct the photo session, ladies and gentlemen. So what we'll do is we'll begin with a picture of the PS and county representatives. All right, we all have a copy. The PS, they are shaking hands with major development partners that have made the unveiling of this document possible, as well as the county governments, the implementers of the Kenya National Ultra-Poor Graduation Strategy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say we've achieved what we came here to achieve. Thank you very much, Mr. PS, for leading the unveiling of that historic document. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's official program. I'd like to invite now or call to the stage Ben Makotsi. He is a Regional Director, Social Development, Western Region. Ben will be giving us the vote of thanks before we all close. Ben? There you are. Please make your way to stage. Asante sana, Ben.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you'll allow me to speak from here. Kindly allow me to be here as I make my remarks. Asante sana, nashukuru kwa hii sherehe kubwa sana. I want to start by thanking our Secretary for Social Development, the PS rather, for this great occasion and also for sparing time to be with us here. It is never easy to have a PS coming and spending the whole day with our team here. I know your duties are very heavy there, and you are able to move and be with us today. Together with that, I want to take this occasion to also appreciate our Secretary for Social Development, the doctor here, for guiding us properly in this department. In the directorate, we have been able to move on and do our work without any serious problem. When the team came to the regional hearings, public participation, which took place in the regions, we in Western Kenya, Nyanza, and part of Rift Valley, the North Rift, we were able to participate fully, and wananchi on the ground were really wondering, how will it be that we can be able to finish all the poverty we have in the country? But I know that officers on the ground who are working with us there are equal to this task. Secondly, I want to take this chance to also appreciate the partners who are involved in this work, the village enterprise and all the other partners who work with them, World Bank. We also have the BOMA. We also have the World Food Program and many others who have been on board. We really ask that they can be able to move on even as you enter into the program as it moves on in life. I also want to take this opportunity to also thank my fellow officers across the country, starting with the regional coordinators who are here with me, seated here. They can show their hands. Just show up and show. All of them are here. With them on the ground, I'm sure the fulcrum will move unhindered. We just ask that as we move on in life, this program, which is to be 5 years, 2025 to 2030, will succeed and will be able to help the people of Kenya. Now, I want to say something at personal level. As you look at me, I can say that I've been with the department for 41 years. How many years you are saying? 41. I joined the ministry in 1984, someday in October. And that time, I was just around 22 to 23 years, having graduated from the University of Nairobi at that time. I joined the ministry, and over the years, I've moved on working in the same ministry, same department. I've seen it all. When we started, even during that time of district focus for rural development, we were there. Coming from the university, we were the champions. The DCs of that time were able to consult us from time to time because we had learned and gone through the district focus rural development policy. We were able to push it even up to the time it was being implemented until all the districts were able to move in one force. As you look at me now, I'm just about to call it a day. I'll be calling it a day. Maybe perhaps this is the last official function I'm doing for the government of Kenya. And even then, I'll also say that the government has been good to me. It offered me opportunity to work. And even the stations I worked in, I was able to move on. When you look at me, I was never born with this stick. But through the way I was handled at the ministry, I conquered and I moved on. Even as I leave, I'm just happy that I did my small part in the government of Kenya. And those of us who remained behind, they are here. We did a lot with them, mentored them, worked together as a team. And I'm sure even as I leave, the fulcrum of the department will move on. Thank you very much, and God bless all of you. We shall be meeting, if not here, elsewhere in the Republic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Makotsi, for that vote of thanks. And on behalf of the entire room here, we do wish you a wonderful, wonderful retirement, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's official program. On behalf of the State Department for Social Protection and Senior Citizens Affairs, we thank you all sincerely for your time, for your presence, and your commitment to this national journey of economic inclusion. When I invite all our guests for lunch, which will be served at the terrace, please ensure to pick your coupon at the registration desk on your way out, as well as a gift or a package from the State Department to say thank you for your time here. Thank you once again for being part of this historic launch. We wish you a wonderful afternoon.
Hapo kitambo sikuwa na pesa, lakini nilikuwa ninalima tu kidogo kidogo hivi, hata chakula sipati sawa.
But then came a new chance. Through Kenya's economic inclusion program led by the government with support from the World Bank and FCDO, Catherine received more than just cash transfers. She accessed startup capital, mentorship and support to bring water closer to her home. That changed everything.
Nilipopewa pesa, nikaenda nikanunua hospitali kubwa, nikaweka 2 kilometers. Nikaleta maji hapa nikasimamisha hapo juu. Nikaanza kulima shamba kubwa sana.
With income comes dignity. Today's Catherine's children are healthier. She can seek medical care and her home is filled with food from her own farm.
And it is not only affordability, but also the quality of the meals they are getting has been enhanced.
Nikipanda kitu, nipate pesa, naweza kulipa school fees, kuwanunulia uniform, wakingojeka niwapeleke hospitali, hata mimi niende hospitali.
Real change is always a shared journey. At Twenimbe, a village savings and loans association, Catherine and other women began saving together, investing in their futures and building resilience one loan at a time.
We give them the consumption support of Kenya shillings 2,000 monthly for a period of 12 months. Then we give them a seed capital of Kenya shillings 30,000. This is a one-off so that they can start different enterprises. Then there is the bit of mentorship and coaching.
Tukishia out na nimepata 51,000, nataka kujenga nyumba na.
Catherine's is just one story. Around the world, only 10% of the 700 million people in extreme poverty are reached by economic inclusion programs. The Kenya Economic Inclusion Program has already reached 15,000 households so far. Now Kenya is expanding the program to reach 26,000 more people with steady support from the World Bank and other partners and WFP's technical assistance.
We've gotten support. We are moving on to the next phase where now we are going to 25 counties.
We are so glad having been part of the journey of co-designing the expansion of the Kenya Economic Inclusion Program jointly with the government and the World Bank over the past 1.5 years. And we are ready to focus the program even stronger in sectors such as sustainable food systems and green value chains.
Change takes time, but progress is real. Catherine's journey proves that with the right support, families can improve their livelihoods and economic situations. With your support, thousands more can do the same.
kitu.